Friends, my name is Aseem Jain and welcome to the Mongo tutorial. In this video and this session we are going to cover the retrieval part of MongoDB, and then we will learn about the insertion of a valid JSON document. So essentially, to retrieve data, there is a find command. So once we do db, it would give you the current whatever variable value assigned to the db that would show up. So you have to say show collections, and you see all the collections over here. For example, now we need to see all the drivers db dot. So once you hit tab, it would auto complete. So that is again a very helpful stuff. Now there is something which is called as find one. So find one means usually what happens is in Mongo you can put any kind of collection, heterogeneous or homogeneous. Since it's dynamic structured, there are no constraints as such that only certain kind of data can go. In a collection you can put books, students, apple, oranges, whatever you want, you can do that. I'll also demonstrate the same to you. Like in Oracle or whatever, you have to have a fixed format, and the thing which gets inside that format, that only gets saved. But here anything gets saved. But I mean, that is practically, but logically you would print similar kind of collections, documents in one collection. So for example, in this we are using drivers, and we just need to see how a driver looks like. So we can say find one, and find one collection can help us getting the data for the find one, any one object. Against that, if we do find, it would show all the records, but these all records are maximum 20 records which can be shown. It gives a cursor, and inside that cursor all the values are being displayed. So find one is really good. With find, if you want to see it pretty, you can always do a pretty by the end, and then it shows it in the readable format. But still, if it is too much, it becomes difficult for you to find out what actually record you was trying to see. So just to make it simple, you can use something which is called as the match operator or the selection in the find. So what I am going to do is I am going to do a find, but then I have to pass a matching pattern to it. People from MySQL can think of as a select query, select star from table name where values are so and so. So and so means a condition where column name is equal to value, right? So same stuff we are going to do here. So one of the field inside it has the tenant ID field, and the number for that field is 108. So when we don't pass any query, it would do select star dot star, like select star from table. So all the records like top 20, if there are 20 or more, they would be shown. In this case, whatever records which gets matched in this condition would only be shown. So I believe there are more records which are satisfying this. So we have to do a AND. AND means where we have two conditions. I want all the drivers from the system which have tenant ID as 1008 and the driver ID as 3. So I am using up arrow key. This is a shortcut and good to learn. As soon as you do up, you will find whatever commands you have fired last in the console. So it makes stuff faster. So I am going to do it here, and this is the Mongo basic. This is the Angular brace for the Mongo object completion, the JSON object. So this is a simple small JSON object which takes the key and the value. So key is tenant ID and its value, that's the first, and second would be the driver ID and the value is 3. And as soon as you take your cursor here, you can notice that you see some Angular brace over there. So these brace basically helps you to identify if it's a valid record or not. If you do this, you would end up having some errors. It won't run anything. But if you will do it correctly, you see the pair is now good and you are going to get the result. So this is what you got, and if you just want to count it, you can put by the end count, so it makes it easy for you to realize, okay, how many records were there. So with this condition, seems like there are 2 records. Let's try to see them in a pretty way. So these are nothing else but the functions for basically this method returns whatever. By the dot operator you can find the pretty function. You can do the pretty function. So this function gives you this detail. This is the one object, and Aseem update is the name over here. And let's try to find what's the name there. Okay, seems like there are duplicate records identically. They might have got pushed twice. That's why they have been shown twice. So we will learn how to delete Mongo document, and then we will delete. This is the inconsistency in data. And since Mongo does not have any constraint, it is designed to be that. So please remember, if a database does not have too many of constraints, duplicate check, null check, blah blah, it is designed to perform better, because once you will have all these checks, all these joins and everything, it slows down your application, which we do not want. So all the logic, whatever has been shifted to the application layer. So in the application, you can check before inserting or after retrieving or whatever, if it satisfies your constraint or not. But in that way, you would keep the database lightweight and dynamic, free, fluid, and agile, instead of making it too much structure and too much constraint, and lot many other things, because it impacts data performance. And there are huge tons of data, millions of millions records, and for them, each constraint, each small feature impacts the overall throughput. That's why Mongo has been designed in a very fluid way. So in this session, what we learned is doing the find with the clause, like with the kind of where clause we can speak of. So in the find, the first bracket is called as the match parameter, wherein you can pass the conditions, and based on that you would get the value. In next lecture, we are going to learn the projection for the same.